In the next demo, we're going to move over to a bit functional testing. We have our registration UI test case, which we defined to be testable false, which essentially means that we're going to be running on the client side instead to test our JSF page, which is an HTML output essentially. We have our little JSF form with some input fields, and we have a data table that returns the data that we have inputted into our input form. In this case, we're going to use the Selenium WebDriver to control the browser, and we're injecting that. On the other hand, we're injecting a registration page object as an argument. This is the Selenium page object pattern. With Graphene, it allows you to have something we call for page fragments as well, which is essentially parts of the page that can be injected. And here we are fetching the different input fields, and we can create a API around them in Java, so we don't have to replicate all of this these expressions to find the different elements all across our tests. Similarly, we're getting the registration list, and it's a list of all the registration items, which is essentially all the registered users that are currently in the system. So within the test case itself, when this starts up, it will load up the page and go to that URL of our deployment. We get the form from the page, we set the different values, and then we call the register, which essentially does a click on the submit form. Then we validate that the form is valid, we get the list, check the counts, and get the different users that we have inserted. Similarly, we're checking that it actually does a validation of the phone number, and that's a only number that has been inputted. And we're also using the reporter API to add some extra messages to our reports. To use recorder, we need to activate the recorder APIs to allow us to do different recordings. Again, we just use run as JUnit. The test starts up, it will fire up the browser and walk through our page. Now this is we can see the output of the console again of the EAP server and the deployment that happened, and we're actually operating on something that's live. And both our test cases passed. Means we have some good code here. This is the report that is being generated, and it gives us information about all the configuration that happened or that we ran with. Like we're using the Chrome browser, we want an HTML5 report, we want to take screenshots and so on before and after. We also want to record the whole session. That gives us a video of everything that happened on the screen that ran the test. This is good for trying to debug when a certain test fails. You can actually see the visual elements and see what happened during the test execution. Arcadian also allow you to take screenshots on certain actions. So here we're taking a screenshot that happened after the last test run, and we can see visually that the error reporting happened.